snag the launch key, and Knuckles, you stand by to...
break glass in case of emergency.
See? He gets it.
As they're from a prominent and ever-growing video game franchise, Sonic and his friends find themselves on an extravagant adventure almost every day. From the Olympics to racing on elaborate tracks, it's safe to say that Sonic has done almost everything. His many adventures have even taken him into alternate realities and distant futures. Time travel is something that the video game franchise has explored more than once, but it's currently an untouched concept within the films. Paramount has taken inspiration from the original games, and there are often nods to the franchise that inspired the films, which keeps fans coming back for more. As of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the films have established Sonic's origin story, the development of Team Sonic, and the arrival of Shadow the Hedgehog. We know from the mid-credit scene of Sonic 3 that the next film will follow new characters like Metal Sonic and Amy Rose. Fortunately, the films are incredibly popular, and I suspect there will be numerous installments in the years to come. With that in mind, there's plenty of potential for a time travel storyline that takes Sonic on a multi-dimensional journey. In today's video, I will discuss the potential of a time travel film and the elements it should include.
The Master Emerald is too powerful to ever use again. We made a promise to each other to keep it hidden.
in a location only Knuckles knows.
Number 1. Silver and Blaze. It's traditional for the Sonic films to introduce new characters with each story. As the films are loosely inspired by the games that came before them, a time travel narrative would likely follow the events of Sonic the Hedgehog from 2006. The game introduces Silver, a hedgehog from 200 years in the future, and Blaze, a princess from an alternate dimension. Silver in particular plays a prominent role in the plot as he travels to the past to prevent Sonic from triggering the end of the world. While he nearly kills Sonic during their first meeting, Silver is a very kind-hearted individual with a strong sense of justice. His determination to protect his home often leads him to resolve past events to maintain his present. Silver is, without a doubt, the character who would debut in a time travel film. However, other characters like Blaze could receive a supporting role as she often aids Silver in his missions.
Hey Blaze, I didn't mean to wake you.
I'm a light sleeper.
Number 2. Changing the past. If Sonic received access to time travel, I'm sure he and even his friends would be tempted to use it for personal gain. As it stands, the members of Team Sonic are still incredibly young. Despite saving the world numerous times, they still act like teenagers. It's unfortunate that at such young ages, each member of Team Sonic has traumatic experiences they regret. I couldn't blame any of them for wanting to revisit the past in an attempt to correct mistakes. Sonic, in particular, has shown that strong emotions can impact his decision-making. For example, he leaves behind Tails and Knuckles in Sonic 3 to confront Shadow using the Chaos Emeralds. In leaving behind his friends and using the Emeralds, he momentarily breaks the promise he made with them. If he hadn't experienced a change of heart while fighting with Shadow, there was a significant chance he would have taken the other Hedgehog's life. It's hard to imagine Sonic doing something so drastic, but grief and fear can cloud anyone's judgment. The same lesson is expressed through Shadow's story, who nearly destroyed the world in Maria's name. The most significant loss Shadow has experienced in his life so far includes the death of his adopted parent, Longclaw. We learn about Longclaw throughout the first film, as she is the last of the Owl Warriors responsible for protecting the Master Emerald from evil. She became Sonic's primary guardian after finding him on Mobius, their home planet. While caring for Sonic, she ensured that he was safe from those seeking his power. Unfortunately, their time of peace was short-lived as the Echidna tribe tracked Sonic to Longclaw's home, resulting in an ambush. While Longclaw was dedicated to protecting the Master Emerald, she also had a duty to keep Sonic from harm. She encouraged Sonic to leave her behind, and using a portal ring, she sent him to live a new life on Earth. In Sonic 3, Sonic stumbles upon his original home on Earth. The cave had many nods to his early childhood, including an illustration of Longclaw on the wall. Although it's brief, the scene shows how much Sonic misses his surrogate mother. He does love the family he's made with Tom and Team Sonic, but they'll never fill the role Longclaw had in his life. His grief can make him resort to time travel to prevent himself from losing someone so important. Likewise, Knuckles could also try to prevent the loss of his tribe, and Shadow could attempt to save Maria's life.
I don't want to go without you.
You must. These rings will be your most important possession.
Number 3. World-ending repercussions. While changing the past always seems tempting, there's no denying that it often comes with serious consequences. Anyone who has read or watched media about time travel knows that some events are set in stone. These canon events can't be altered without leading to world-ending repercussions. In the case of Sonic and his friends, a time travel plot would likely include Team Sonic putting their modern lives in jeopardy, which would also endanger their loved ones like Tom and Maddie. In the hypothetical scenario where Sonic could travel back to save Longclaw, an unavoidable tragedy would occur in the present day. If Sonic saved Longclaw from the Echidna tribe, then she would be able to raise him on their home planet. The timeline would branch from that moment, meaning that Sonic never goes to Earth, meets Tom, or becomes a hero. Sonic would likely have an eventful and love-filled life on Mobius, but the people of Earth wouldn't be so lucky. Take Shadow's storyline as an example. Shadow falls to Earth and is captured by Gunn decades before Sonic arrives. During that time, Gerald Robotnik uses his research on the Eclipse canon to barter with Gunn during his imprisonment, which sets off the events of Sonic 3. Without Sonic there, Shadow and Robotnik would still try to end the world. Only this time, there would be no one to fight Shadow and prevent the canon from destroying Earth. So as you can see, Sonic having a perfect life on Mobius could lead to the end of Earth's entire civilization, and realizing this, Sonic would have to accept that he couldn't use time travel to save Longclaw.
Talk about low-budget flights. No food or movies? We're out of here.
Number 4. An expanded universe. Time travel stories are often accompanied by the concept of alternate dimensions. Alternate dimensions often arise because the timeline has been changed, allowing the story to deviate from the main canon. Minuscule changes then lead to a multiverse of possibilities where characters can become or do anything. I think this concept holds the most potential when trying to introduce new characters or exploring plots from the franchise's countless games. As I stated in the introduction of this video, Sonic is a well-traveled character who has experienced many things. His franchise has made him a household name, meaning there's no shortage of alternative stories for the films to adapt. Unfortunately, it's difficult to include as many characters as there are in the games in condensed media like film and television. Fortunately, by introducing time travel or alternate dimensions, some fan-favorite characters could still have a cameo in the films without interfering with the main timeline. Silver and Blaze are the obvious choices for this type of narrative, but any of Sonic's known allies could also debut this way. For example, Big the Cat is typically uninterested in grand adventures or combat. He would rather live a peaceful life fishing with his friends, so his inclusion in the main films doesn't make much sense. If Sonic found himself in a different timeline, he could still meet Big, who's enjoying a peaceful life fishing by the lake. Overall, the inclusion of time travel in alternate worlds gives the creative team more freedom to explore everything the Sonic franchise has to offer.
Relax. I'm not here to fight.
Then why are you here?
And why did you free Shadow?
The concept of time travel may seem a little advanced for the Sonic films where they currently stand in the timeline, but the potential increases with each installment. If the films aim to introduce every significant character for the franchise, they'll need to branch out into new worlds and different timelines. I would love it if the franchise reached a point where the films have an endgame level conclusion. Imagining all Sonic's allies and enemies meeting one last time for a final confrontation has me wishing that the next film is already in theaters. The inclusion of time traveling could make an ending like this possible sooner rather than later. It also has a potential of taking Sonic and his friends on wild adventures that have no real impact on the main narrative.
If that thing really turns thoughts into power, we are in big trouble. Robotnik has a lot of bad thoughts.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Is this where you grew up, Shadow? No wonder you're so mad.